Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. EQ Nostalgia here, and today I want to talk to you guys about Warhammer Vermintide. This is a game that I absolutely love. You might remember me doing a review for it and talking about it quite a bit last year, which is why it saddens me to say that this game is dying. This game is dying rather rapidly. Last night I noticed there was about 600 people playing the game, maybe just a hair over that, and that is a far cry from where it was when it first came out. About 20,000 people were playing this game, and that tells me that something is wrong. People don't just simply leave like that. One does not simply leave an amazing game, and for the most part, I think most people will agree that the core game itself is really fun. But once you run the levels a few times, and once you get shafted by the shitty loot system a few times, that's kind of all she wrote for most people. Me, I took a large break of several months and just recently came back and was very disheartened when I sat in a lobby trying to get a game started. I had no idea that you could even open the lobby and just search for games. There is a search lobby. I used to just host games straight up and people would come in quickly. That's really no longer the case. Sometimes that happens, but most times I'm sitting there for 10 minutes without a single soul showing up. And the main problem to me, it seems to be the loot system. Now, they did try to remedy that, and I think they've done a pretty good job with it. It's not, it's not too awful now. You can combine a bunch of shit that you don't want and get a better weapon, but still, at the same time, it's really annoying when you get to the end of a match and you roll, and you're rolling so low, and you know you've got all this stuff that's supposed to increase your chances. And statistically, for me, I can't speak for anybody else, it's just been consistently low, to where it doesn't make any sense. In real life, if I was to throw dice, it would never land this low consistently over time. I mean, they added hats to this game a while back. I think they had them at launch, actually. And I've never gotten a single hat. Not a single hat. I've only got like 2 trinkets in the entire time I've played the game. And I got 1 orange. The other day, I actually screenshotted. I was like, oh shit, I got an orange. I rolled an orange. I didn't have to combine anything for that. That's broken. Okay, that kind of a system is broken. You can sit there and tell me, no, it's not, it's fucking broken. I don't care what you say. It's just, it is. People are frustrated with that. If you're not frustrated with that, then you know what? I'm happy for you. Congratulations. You're one of the few who isn't, because there are people who are frustrated with that, and that's part of the reason why the numbers have dipped. Another part of the reason is that it seems like people have trouble running this. I personally have not experienced that. I did crash for the first time last night, though, when I was trying to throw a barrel into the ship with the black powder mission. My game crashed, and that really sucked. It had never happened before. So I don't think that the bugs are too terrible. I've seen quite a few of them, to be honest, but they're not really game-breaking. I've had a few instances where I had to restart, like a rat ogre will show up, and then it won't show, you won't see it, you'll just hear it making noise, and you'll hear the music, but it's nowhere around, and you can't progress. I've had where I got to the Horn of Magnus, and I couldn't blow the horn, and everybody had to restart. Or I've actually had it where we couldn't blow the horn, and then a few minutes later we could. So some really strange bugs. I've had the rat men where their necks are stretched out really far after they die. So there are bugs, but this is not a AAA game. It looks like a AAA game. It feels like a AAA game, and that's to the credit of Fatshark, the developers of the game. But this is an indie endeavor, and that's just the way that it is. You're going to have these kind of problems, and I don't think the bugs really drive anyone away. Overall, I feel that that's a minor issue. I don't think it's really affecting too many people, but nevertheless, it is an issue. I think the main issue stems from, as I stated, the loot system and the fact that there just isn't really a lot of content there for you to sink your teeth in. People want to see chaos characters. And I know from a lore standpoint that might not make sense during the end times that they get together and work towards a mutual goal. I don't know. Maybe they could just do like an enemy of my enemy kind of thing and just throw green skins and shit in there and make people happy. To be perfectly clear, I don't know that much about Warhammer lore, but I do think it's fascinating. I jumped on with Warhammer with the MMORPG that was sadly shut down, Age of Reckoning, and that's when I really got into the game. I do know that this is a long-standing series that goes way back to when it was miniatures and stuff like that. So this is something that's been around for a long time, and I respect that. And I've just tried to catch up on the lore, and it is insane. Just the end times alone chapter of the lore is a lot to read and catch up on. There's a lot of depth there, and I really love that about this game. So I think there's a lot of stuff that they can bring into the fold that might not necessarily make sense, but it would still be fun. Even if they brought in multiplayer, and this is something people have been asking for, I mean competitive multiplayer versus mode, like Left 4 Dead, where you can play as the Skaven just like you would with Left 4 Dead, where you can try to stop the heroes from getting through the level. It doesn't really make sense right now because some of these levels are way too long. You can tell that the game was not built like Left 4 Dead, right? It's just some of the stuff, just forget it. You're in a match for like 30, 40 minutes. You would never make it to the end. And it would just be too long and drawn out. They'd have to really go back to the drawing board and make levels specifically for a versus mode like that. So that's, I think, part of the problem is that it takes a lot of work to do those things. And I don't think that's on their radar at all. Versus, I don't think it is. I know they want to add a new character. I think they hinted around to it, but they haven't said exactly what it's going to be. But these are the things that we need to start seeing in the game. And we did get those 3 new maps from the DLC, but I think people want more maps and more modes. They want more characters. They want more. That's kind of what you have to give people in order to keep them playing the game, because after a while, once you exhaust all the content and run through it so many times and you get disappointed by the dice rolls, that's when people walk away, and I think that's the main problem with this game. So what can they do to bring it back? It's tough. It really is, because they're a small studio, and it's hard for a small studio to crank out consistent content. I know they said that they want to fix the rolling system. That's going to be in the next update. They also want to bring out like quests where you can go on certain missions and you'll have a set reward. There won't be like a loot roll system for it. From the way I understand it, you'll know what you're going to get if you succeed. So it's right there in front of you. So you have something to work towards and you're not disappointed when you get to the end. And I think that's brilliant, and hopefully that brings people back, but that's not going to be enough. They need to continue to crank out content for this. And if they don't, it's just going to continue to die. And it's one of those things where I can't really blame the devs and I can't really blame the community. It's just kind of the way it is. The only thing that I could say to Fatshark, if they happen to watch this, which I highly doubt they will, but if they did, I would just say work your asses off. Just keep working hard. Bring out new characters. Do everything you can to bring out more content to bring people into the game, because I do think people will come back. I think people still own this game. Many people do. It's just that they moved on to something else. They exhausted everything and they left. If you bring the content in, they will come. You know, it's just the way that it is. Just in closing, I have to say that I absolutely love games like this where you have to work together and you have to form strategies with your team, and you just can't go running off being a badass or you're going to get pinned by something that's going to kill you. But the problem with that is that playing with randoms can be really frustrating. Now, if you haven't played this game, I assure you it is very much worth your investment. You're going to get your money's worth out of it, and you're more than welcome to play it with me. Now, tomorrow I plan on having a Let's Play for Let's Play Hump Day. It's a series that I started that hasn't been very successful, but I am going forward with it. I love this game, so I want to start bringing that into the fold. So if you happen to be new to the channel and you like this game, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to be covering this game in the future. Now, right now I want to kick it over to you guys. I want to ask you, what do you think of this game? Have you played it? If you haven't played it, as I said, go get it. It's a fantastic game. If you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to rate it thumbs up. I thank you all for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video.